Aga järgmisena kutsume lavale Lauri Aaltio Soomest ja tema tutvustab oma startup-ettevõtet Jukola 7, mis tegeleb metallitööstusega. Lauri on ise nii siis selle startup-ettevõtte asutaja, insener kui ka disainer. Lauri räägib tööstusdisainist, millise eelise tööstusdisain annab ettevõttele ja kogemust on sellel mehel kindlasti küllaga, sellepärast et ta on pikalt töötanud Soome ühes suurimatest rasketööstuse ettevõtetest Metso. Nii et Lauri, the floor is yours.
Good, thanks.
Ja veel ma tahaks öelda, et kui teil on küsimusi ettekande lõpus, siis palun andke käega märku, me ulatame teile mikrofoni, et siis kuulevad kõik paremini nii laval olev esineja kui ka inimesed, kes meid siin saalis kuulavad ja online'is jälgivad. Aitäh!
Okay, tere päev. Nice to be here. I'm always happy when I can talk because I'm in the middle of 3 kids, big brother and little sister. And always I'm afraid that somebody will stand up from the chair and say, let your sister speak, but now I can finally speak. Okay, so Lauri Aaltio is my name. I'm from Jukola 7. I was previously working with Metso as an industrial designer for 7 years, and now I have my own company called Jukola 7. You can also get the slides from jukola7.com. There's a blog. Also, you can actually put comments also in the blog if you have something to ask. So, there's a historical perspective to everything, and it was an excellent talk from Göran about sales, and of course this is because of the history of both Europe, Finland, and Estonia, and Sweden. I think they are really forward in the selling. But what he said was that you have to have a good product to sell, and I'm talking about how to make good products that then actually are easy to sell and will give the company a good profit on the market. How does it work? So what is industrial design? This is also, from the first presentation I could understand, was it suuri segavus? Before lunch. And this is also true about industrial design. I have a slide later that tells that it is a suuri segavus also. But in this economical system that we have now, you have market where you sell things and you should make profit. You have a company, it has to make profit. And when you sell a product like a beam or a mineral crusher from Metso or paper machine, you have some cost of the product direct cost of the product to develop it, or to sell, or to manufacture. Then you have the cost of the general cost of the organization and of the product. And eventually you have some revenue, and you should make profit. So I'm stating that with using industrial design, you can both get the price of the product up, get more money from the market, and also you can get your direct costs lower, because usually when you have industrial design in the product developing process, when it's used from the very beginning, you usually can get down the cost of the product by maybe 30% by removing parts and having it cheaper to produce. So I try to keep it very much to the basics. It's not rocket science, it's quite understandable, normal things that industrial designers do. It's also a new profession because we have had industrial designers maybe only 50 years because it came only after industrialization. So we have had cars for 100 years and then eventually there became designers maybe 50 years ago. So that's why it's also a mess, because we have had a lot longer people who are doctors or who write books and all kinds of things. But usually the process is quite simple. You have something that you want to do. It can be a computer or it can be a beam. So you make a sketch. After this, you go forward with the process, maybe some weeks or months. You can make a rendering. of maybe the marketing situation in a fair or the product. You make a common vision for the whole product development team and the company to talk about the issue. What should we actually develop? And eventually you have the first prototype, and after this prototype becomes the product on the market. So there's a question for the audience. Who thinks that the Volvo has better design? Maybe you can raise your hands. Anybody? 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then who thinks the Mondeo is better? We should have more hands. Okay, this doesn't. Okay, so this was a tricky question because it's not actually, okay, this is industrial design. Of course, this is the top of the line industrial design because this is a market where you have so many manufacturers, you have good brands, and the decision of which car to buy from the huge amount of cars is quite a lot an emotional decision based on the design, I think. But this actually was the question. When we have this thing called syksy. When you are running or walking to the car, it's cold and it's dark and it's wet. You don't even want to take your hands from the pocket. So what happens? You would actually want to open the doors before you even go to the car. So this is user experience, how you experience the product. So what happens? There we have, on the left, we have success. You can, in this key, you can feel which button opens the door. You don't have to take it from your hand. And on the other key, you have failure. You can't feel, you have 3 similar buttons, and you can't feel which one, how do you open the door. And it wouldn't cost anything to do it right, but still they did it wrong with this Ford, which is a $13 billion company. And they have, of course, they have excellent design people and organization and everything, but you can still do it wrong. And what does the happy manager say? We had excellent management process behind this product, but they didn't have good design leadership. And what is true also about both the keys, also they had good management behind this product, but they had bad design. And this can be a driving factor when you are buying the next car. Do you get the sales or not? So I'm specialized in industrial design in heavy machinery, in business-to-business products. I was working for Metso, now it's called Valmet, and I was also in part of a team. At Metso they had a team where they have, it's in R&D, and there's a team where you have engineers and designers working on the same subject for years and years. Because these are very complex machines, and it's actually very hard to do it right. But if you put in time and effort, you can eventually make it right. And this is top-of-the-line paper machine now, where you have, if you had seen paper machines before, I don't know if somebody has seen, you could see that this is quite revolutionary, how good it actually looks here. Because the walkway is just one straight line with aluminum and glass, and it has never looked like this. So this is really revolutionary. And also this is, of course, when you have this kind of market, somebody is selling this product. So they show the picture. Of course, this already matters that, okay, if it's high-tech, if it makes the best paper in the world, it should also look like it's the best paper machine in the world. It's not believable otherwise. What is also maybe even more interesting is that when you use the methods of industrial design from the very beginning, you can make the machine lower, you can leave tens and hundreds of thousands of stainless steel that you don't use because you make it smarter, it's smaller. This machine is a lot smaller than they used to be. Of course, this takes years and years of good development with both engineers and designers. So I'm one of the patent holders for this walkway that you saw there. And this is an example of how long it takes to do it right. Here's a sketch, first sketch of the system. that could you use aluminum extrusion as the walkway, the material that actually carries the loads. So first sketch, then you have, of course, a lot of standards. You have renderings, initial finite element analysis of the stresses, patent. From this picture to the product on the market, I think can be 6 or 7 years. It's not fast. But eventually you are in the market and, okay, who would buy this? Hands up. Maybe some people. If you need a paper machine, you can get it there. And who would buy this? So it's a mess. Also, this is very expensive to do it like this. So, of course, everybody knows Apple, and it's impossible to talk about design without talking about Apple and Steve Jobs. He says it well. Design is the fundamental soul of a man-made creation that ends up expressing itself in successive outer layers of the product or service. It's a good book by from Steve Jobs, this icon, and he says it nicely that for most people, design means veneer. So it's another chair, another coffee cup. I think what is interesting is to use industrial design in the business-to-business environment. Because, okay, we have a lot of chairs, we have a lot of vases and stuff. Of course, all of this exists. You can use design in clothes and in all the places. But because design is not so much used in the heavy industry, it's actually easy, well, relatively easy to do things right there because it's not done so much. Okay, here is another example of cereals. And which one would you buy? Here's Start cereals, and here is a cheaper Pirkka cereals. So the question of this funny slide about cereals here, it's worth 1.5 billion euros, so miljardeja, not millions but billions. This package, when you are buying it from the shop, of course we are living in a post-industrial world where we have everything, and then we make choices in the shop what to buy, and this defines which company will succeed. So, funny thing, when you pour the cereals from this Start package, actually the package is nicer to hold, the cereals are nicer in the formation, and also when you pour, it doesn't leave anything here. You can stop and put it back to the closet. But in the cheaper one, these Pirkka cereals, it's not so nice to keep in your hand. It's too big in a way. The cereals are not so good, and also when you pour, something will stay there and actually be spilled to the table. But it's a multi-million-dollar question or euro question, how to do it. Another example, when you are in a hurry, you have to make some food. All you want to know is how many minutes do I boil this rice? Here is how you do it right, Uncle Ben's. It says 10 minutes there. And here is another example. Pirkka, it doesn't say. And then actually, I was so annoyed about this that I made the presentation. I showed it to my friends, and he said, yes, it says, it's there. Well, I still couldn't see it. I even used many hours to make the presentation, and I still don't see it. So, what does the happy manager say? We have all the nutritional facts in the package. But I don't care. I just want to make food. I have to get the kids from the kindergarten. I have 3 minutes. And it wouldn't cost anything to put it there, but they just do it right. I mean, wrong. And in both companies, here and here, they have also good management there. But in this company, they have the happy manager who doesn't understand. So, about design in industrial design in the machinery. This is an example why it's also you save money by using design. Because here is a picture of a prototype. And then this is just one cross-section of the beam. But then comes the question that you need some kind of structure where it actually is attached to the other ends of the building, like this crane there. It has to go somehow to the other beams. So, from a skilled designer, this takes maybe 1 or 2 hours to draw. But it's still not done the finalized 3D model. So, with just 1 or 2 hours, you can actually see is that should it be something like this structure. And then you can talk, you can go to the engineers, ask, is this good? You can make changes. And then after only this, you make the finalized model. So it's a fast and very effective way to develop something. And this is not the exact truth. This is something to use for the conversation about the product. So this is the suuri sekavuus. Design thinking is the term how to do, I think, to do right the R&D process. Here you have design and thinking. So you go from the brief to the end product. With the red, you have innovated traditional way of thinking that you go from the brief to the final design and you sell it. But with design thinking, you actually want to have an iterative process that goes around. You do something, you ask, you make it different, you do again something, you change it. It has to go like in a circular manner. From ideation, implementation, and I don't even see what it says there. But well, so the beginning of the process should be a mess. That you try something, you ask, is this something that you would like to maybe buy or do? Also, it's psychology. You have to have empathy, optimism, experimentality, cooperation. If somebody says in the very beginning that we are going to fail, it's sure that you are going to fail. Somebody has to believe in this, and this is design leadership. Somebody says that, okay, we want this like the pillow, we will do this 30% a year. Now, it's also time travel. This is actually a 3D print of a part that is eventually 2.5 meters high, but the 3D print is just 10 centimeters high. And this is a stainless steel 3D print, and then I draw a man there. So you can think, okay, could we do something like this? Can you open the door? Can you use it? And this is fast, of course, quite fast. You don't have to have the precise model yet. Also about muotoiluajattelu design thinking, pictures of one project where you have brief. A good brief is also very valuable. It's rare to have a good briefing about what we should actually have. Also a visual briefing. So a briefing, then you can make some models. You can have initial FEM analysis, 3D models, 3D printing, a lot of stuff, and eventually have actually somebody manufactures something, the beam. And also another good thing, you can observe the real-life situation cheaply in advance. Here is just purukumi and 3D print, and you can think, could it open like this? Should it open to the side? How does the cables go? In which situation? Should there be modules to use to gain the right structure? Also, this is a good example of how to do it right. You can have one-to-one models that are the real size. Quite easily you can use CNC milling, laser cutting. And when you show something like this then to other people in the company, it's easy to make changes because people understand that this is not the final thing. They are not afraid to change it. It's cheap and flexible. Because if you make the final thing, then everybody knows if we make a change, it'll cost because we already did model it. And there's the happy manager again. Let's see what he has done this time. Failure again. VR uses 68 million travels year 2011. Now, who can see the pin code from here? Or who can see what should you do? It's saying, I think it's saying credit or debit. Well, there's actually this in front of, and then there's the edge of the thing, and you can't see anything. And this is a funny thing about big organizations, because they say that the goal for VR's operation is a satisfied customer. Group aims to provide its customers with high quality services that are easily available. Okay. Didn't work out that well. And also, it's funny, in this process, there has been designers, because you can see that there has been, but they just do it wrong.
We just don't know what was the goal that was given to designers.
Yeah. Of course, it's possible to buy the ticket. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but it's still annoying. And this is because we already have everything, so we want everything to be easy. Maybe 50 years ago, it would have been, what is the word? arrogant to say that it should also be easy to use I mean, you have the train, it's a lot, but these days everything should be easy. Because actually they are in competition also. They compete against private cars and also buses, so it should be easy. They are losing customers if they don't do it right. And there's a happy manager. Excellent meetings during this project, I'm sure. And here is an example how to do it right. I think this is actually from Estonia. Pakettiautomaatti, Cleveron. Excellent system where you have good user experience. You want to get the package from somewhere, but you don't want to stay in the queue. So I can easily go and get the package from here. I get a SMS and it works. This is very good user experience and good design of a system. I mean, it's a complete system, of course. And my former boss from Metso, Valmet, says that it's about people. 80% communication and psychology, 20% design and engineering. And he's talking about engineering and design developing paper machines in business-to-business environment. It's about people. You have thousands and thousands of people there who should actually talk to each other. And this is an excellent thing in industrial design. It's the method is to produce visual stories, visual ways of telling things. Give a picture that people can use and talk about what we should do. Yeah, you have to be a bit brave. Dare to think differently, lead people to possible futures. Yeah, somebody should actually lead. It's rare in bigger organizations that you have a lot of managers, but where are the leaders? Well, eventually, it could be good to enjoy the short moments in between the Runebergin Torttu, because it can be that a long project, nothing actually happens, 6 years of developing. But you can have a nice coffee break during that project. And there's a picture of a laser, 3D print used to make a model of a silicon part. So conclusion, in this economical system, you want to have companies that make money. So to make money, you have to have sound products, like toimiva tuote. So here you have the market. Eventually somebody is buying it. Somebody is selling and somebody is buying. And you have different products. And then you can, it's a competition, and there's the profit that you should make. And here is the development process inside your own company and organization. And here is this graph means your own production price of the product. And during the process of developing it, it goes up and down. In a way, if you could track it all the time, you make a change, it can go up or down. So the idea is to make many multiple tries and eventually get a product that is cheaper on the market to produce, but has better, that from which you can get a better price. It's kannattava tuote. Oh, I still have 2 minutes. Maybe I can talk 2 minutes more.
Well, but maybe we can ask, are there any questions from the audience? And if someone has, just let me know. If there is no questions from the audience, I would like to ask that you were working in a very big industry before you decided to start your own enterprise. Yeah. What was the knowledge that you can use in your own company that you learned from this your own experience in Metso?
Well, of course, I mean many things. How to develop something, how to actually go to companies which manufacture, to go and ask, can you do this? Like the picture of the aluminium walkway started with just a simple trip that we went to a company that makes aluminium extrusion. At that point, we had no idea that we would sometime use this in something. And then we went to a company that makes glass, and eventually, maybe after a year, there came the idea that, okay, we can use glass and aluminium in the walkways. So, I mean, just to go and ask, what are the manufacturers able to do? What can they offer you? Mm-hmm.
Why did you want to start your own enterprise?
Oh, it was easy. I was fired. Yeah, because the economy in Finland goes up and down, and now it went. But it's
But
actually
how-
been my dream from the very beginning that I want my own company.
Okay.
I think it suits me well.
But if as we all know that, like you said, the economy in Finland, it's rather difficult, the situation now.
Yeah.
Isn't it more difficult to be this small company?
Oh, I don't know yet, because actually it's been only for a month now. So I'm still in the very beginning. But I think if you use design in a good way, you can make. Also, I'm developing my own products, this Jukola 7 family, which is a structure system sold to the companies that need intelligent structures that are affordable.
Well, we wish you all the best.
Thanks.